this type of purchasing with IT providers, both across the board, whether dealing with consumers, small, medium business, or enterprise. Online backup was still one of those services where people weren't really sure if it was going to be useful based on available technology or available infrastructure. The speed and security was still rather in question. And since then, we've seen so much marketing and such a growth in available infrastructure, the technology behind it, documentation of security, that there's been just an explosion of adoption over the last few years. Now you can't turn on your Pandora radio station without hearing an ad for Carbonite or some of these other consumer services. So now, again, the small, medium business market is lining up to really see another huge jump into these types of systems. And again, just some of the check marks here, it's secure, it's more functional in its flexibility, it's faster, it's very simple to implement, and it doesn't cost that much. And we're talking cost, both hard costs and soft costs just aren't as much. The big thing with people in a time where the market begins to dip and dive, they try to hold on to their cash as much as they can, avoid recurring billing cycles, but what you really see is over time a recurring payment for more uptime based around solutions like this and better reaction to losses is the most affordable way to go about it. Forbes and both Forbes and the Harvard Review both came out with an article about a month ago about risk management in shaky times. Risk management is a very under the radar huge value to every business. Everything from what happens if somebody's sick to getting stuck in travel plans for different meetings, et cetera, et cetera. How do you adjust for all the risks that you endure as a small business? And not having a proper risk management plan in place is very, very costly. And sometimes the difference between being in business and being out of business is simply having that risk registry put together formally. What do we do in the case that Joe from accounting drops his laptop in the parking lot and it smashes all over the place? What do we do in the case that you spill your coffee on your laptop and it goes out, given that you don't have this type of plastic sheeting around your machine? All these items, no matter how big, how small, are important to note, and then based on the expected frequency and the potential damage per instance, that's how you really determine if you're going to prevent it, given that there are options to prevent these things, and how you're going to react to it. Another big thing to understand is how information is growing in our business. We used to account for about a 5% growth per year back 2007, 2008, where now we're up to a 10 to 20% growth, depending on the industry we're talking about. Especially when you talk about the consumer market, you went from people being able to buy not a whole lot for $100, and now for $100 at Target, Walmart, Costco, whatever it is, you can buy a 15 megapixel camera. So the amount of information that's able to be created by people and data creation and consumption is certainly a huge aspect of technology today. You see that the growth of data has increased dramatically over time. Of digital data, a lot of people who have been around for 30, 40 years, most of those law firms, accounting firms, they're going through a lot of document management services, scanning into digital form. How do you handle backing up all this information? Well, cloud backup being as affordable and it's easy to use as it is a great solution for that. So it's a great way to include, and it's also something to understand as you're pricing out. You don't want to get into a bad situation like a lot of the consumer services have gotten into, where they provided the asterisk-ridden unlimited plan, where it really limits you and how much data you can back up per day and where you can back up that data. Whereas SOS, we've always had the adage of, look, we're just here to let you protect, access, and share and manage information that's important to you and your business. This is really where we're what we're focused on. It's the security of your data, regardless of what machine it's on, if it's on an external drive, map drive, whatever the case. We want you to be able to protect that information as best you can using our services. So we haven't gotten ourselves into that pickle of, here are our asterisks. Make sure you read the fine print before you start using the service. We've always boasted as far as how our service really enters the market. What do we do that's different and better than everyone else? Well, security is one aspect of that. We went over the local encryption, the encryption over the transfer, the encryption once at the first data center, and then the replication to a second data center. Relatively unprecedented in the market. Another big one is the speed. We just published our speed test on our website if you go to SOSonlinebackup.com, and we were by far the fastest backup solution out there. And that was with a relatively small test. It would be even more dramatic with faster upload speed. So we did it based on a typical business, about 2 megabyte, 2.5 upload availability. And if you go into other businesses or even consumers who have writes and files, or maybe you have 10 to 20 megs per second up, then we really start to blow the competition out of the water because we don't throttle down. We don't have any of those limitations in the software because of cornering ourselves into a pricing model that requires us to do such a thing. A big thing is the versioning, and let me pull up the software here to show you what I mean by versioning. So our service does not purge data at any point. So purging data is just not what we do. The user has to do that specifically. I want to get rid of these files and folders. We don't limit you to 30 versions per file. We don't even charge you for the additional versions that you have available. What we do is we only count the most recent version or the largest version of each file you have. So right now I'm just loading up our backup wizard. It's a faux Acme brand. It's our faux partner. And you see I have a little calendar here available. And then I have other filters I can use. Well, let's just by calendar. If I go to October date, I'm going to go back to 2009. And I'm going to recover back to here, October 20th, 2009. So we're going to see, what information was available at that point in 2009. So I hit next. It's going to refresh from the server. It's going to load up the wizard. So here on the left, we're going to have a Windows tree view, which is familiar to many of you. And on the right, we'll show any files or folders. So see, I have one machine, my laptop at the time. I go to my documents, and I have this. I get date modified. I can recover the entire machine this way, or I can select specific files and folders here. So that was pretty quick. Well, let's see what my backup account looks like today. October. Go ahead and refresh, hit next. And now you see I have a whole list of machines that I've worked on and backed up information, changes to documents, new documents, really whatever is important to me. I even have on here my my iPhone, where I've used the iPhone application, and I've backed up my contact list. So I have all my contacts here. You can recover contacts through the iPhone application as well, so that's really helpful. My iPad as well, same thing. So the iPhone application works on the iPad just as all iPhone applications do. If I had a BlackBerry or Droid, those would be up here as well, but I don't. Different machine names, and you can really see, let's go back to this, different drives. I have a map drive, network drive, here's a server. I get a version history. So if I could hit this drop down, it shows me the date of all the versions I have for this file and the size. And if you wanted to see more information and really have a bigger look, you could open this up in Classic View. and that would give you a bigger screen to look through. But you can see the flexibility where you can select a specific date where it'll refresh your entire backup set to, or you can just refresh what's most recent, go through your backup set, and find the specific file, and then you can select a specific version to get for that file. And the same thing works in the web portal. In the web portal, search for the specific file name you're looking for, and it comes up, and you'll get a drop-down with all the versions as well. So that the unlimited version history combined with the speed of how we can run backups really provides the best solution for putting yourself in a position to react to user-level errors or user-level loss, which is the most common type of data loss out there. Whereas the hardware failure and needing to recover a full system, you can, for the most part, prevent it with good monitoring and management services like smart scanning solutions, using services like Spiceworks, IT Control Suite, etc. Those types of things will really help you work smart, not hard, and will tell you when hardware is about to fail. And then also having a good hardware tech refresh plan in place. All of these things combine into your basic managed service package and really give you an edge on what you're providing to people. Getting some more information. This is a lot of information pulled from our website about the differences in features and functions that we have. But from what we've gone through, again, security, speed, and access is really where we trump the competition. So the technology is great. How do we get into this program? What is the program all about? Well, our main focus is a white label program. So we're going to rebrand the software for you. We're going to reskin the PC client. We're going to reskin the mobile portal for you. So when you're